is to help people and help develop people. So with that, I'll let her kick off.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, it's gonna be a fun presentation. It's not gonna be a boring one, I promise. Okay, who here wants to make 6 figures in 2026? Come on, let's go. Okay, we're gonna make that happen, okay? 6, 7. 6 or 7. Are we 12 here? No. Yes. Okay. My name is Tai Nguyen, for those who don't know me. I've been licensed ever since 2003. It's a long time, I know. I started at 12. I've sold over 500 homes, mainly on market and off market. I love the off market world. My dad started buying properties from his friends, and that's kind of how I triggered that, wow, you could buy stuff that's not on the market. So that's kind of how it triggered that investment side of me. Sales volume over 300 million. Started buying rentals in 2008. I met this old guy and I asked him, I said, if you were younger, what would you do differently? And he said, I would have bought more houses. I was like, okay, then I'm just gonna do that because that's what he said. So I started that journey of buying and collecting rental properties. In 2014, I started flipping. I wanted to learn how to borrow money, and I just learned that hard money was no credit. If you had a down payment, you could get a loan. And I was shocked. And I had to be in the right environment to learn those things. And my traditional brokerage never taught me that. I had to go network like you guys are here to meet the right people to get me to where I'm at. And so I learned that, and that opened so many doors through networking. I've been married for 18 years, yay! That's an accomplishment, okay? Trying to hang on. Keep hanging on. I have 3 amazing kids. If you follow me on IG, Instagram, I'm all about my children. And I have a fur baby named Freddie that we absolutely love. And my passion is to change the industry and unite us as a community. We could do so much more together. And I've been in it for 22 years, and I've seen so many agents compete against each other, put their ego before their client. I see so many of that, and I want to change that. I feel that if we can work together and put our clients first and us second, we can win every single time. That's my passion, and I love watching you guys win. If you guys call me, I'll give you a strategy, I promise, because I have lots of strategies. So I really want to talk about mindset because it was part of my growing journey to learn what mindset meant. And I'm telling you, no matter what tools I give you, no matter what tool your brokers give you, no matter what tools you have in your belt, if your mind is not right, you will never use those tools. If you don't have the right people in your corner, you'll never use those tools, right? And so being able to learn to regulate you, because your inside world is a reflection of your outside world. So if you are in doubt, your outside world's in doubt. Does that make sense? And so you have to learn to love you, and you have to learn to grow you. And when you start loving you, the outside world will start loving you, right? And so you have to learn to visualize, and visualization takes time in a quiet place. It's not in a busy place. The more busy your mind is, the less you'll have clarity. So the less you do, the more you'll make, if that makes sense. People think the more you do, the more you'll make. No, the less you do, the more quiet your mind is. They call it downloads, they call it clarity. The less you do, the more you'll make. Because, back then we were closing like 40 or 50 transactions a year. I was so busy, I ignored my whole family. I used to go to the bathroom and hide to make a phone call. Who's done that? Exactly, right? That's not happiness. So being able to be in silence and learn how to visualize what you want. And then when you visualize what you want, you have to have an emotional attachment to it. That's how things will show up. So you can't sit there and say, oh, I'm manifesting that car, that yacht, like that penthouse. The more you visualize, that's just a visualization. But if you have an emotional attachment is, I'm doing it for my kids. I am doing it for the community, right? You have an emotional attachment to it. And then if you tie it into your environment, like the people here, the people you want to work with, the people who you see that's living the life that you want to live, and you tap into that, if you have those 3 connected, I'm telling you, the world is your oyster. It becomes an amazing environment to be in. But you have to start checking out on the people who are telling you what to do, but they don't live the life you want to live. Who here has advice from someone that does not live the life that you want and they are giving you advice? Okay? Everybody. I remember I had a restaurant and everybody had an advice of what dish I should add to my restaurant. I'm like, you don't even run the restaurant. You know how hard it is to come out with a dish that every single cook has to make it exactly the same every single day? Do you know? They don't know. So unless you have 10 restaurants and I want to have that 10 restaurant, I don't want your opinion, right? So check that, okay? 2006 is already here. You got to check that. Who in your circle is living the life that you want to live, okay? So these three have to be in line. You can't sell 100 homes and then go around looking for flips or going around looking for rentals. There's no capacity, right? You have to learn what's important to you. Sometimes you gotta go backwards to go forward. Sometimes you gotta let go a lot of things to get to where you wanna go. And I've learned that the hard way. So when you see your future self so clearly, you can have an emotion attachment. Your heart will start beating in a rhythmic pattern. That pattern is a measurable frequency that's magnetic. So if sadness can kill you, can happiness heal you? Okay, we're taking you guys to church. Great. Okay, so I have this video that I'm gonna play. This video is so powerful. I don't know if you've ever watched this video, but we're gonna play it. It's really short. It's like 5 minutes. Okay. Can you bite? Is it loud enough? Yeah.
In this experiment, I'm gonna see if our thoughts can affect the world around us. You've probably heard people say that our thoughts shapes our reality, and it's this I want to put to the test. This experiment will show that thoughts are vibrations and have different frequencies, and thus affect our circumstances. The late researcher Dr. Masaru Emoto conducted a study lasting many years to see if human consciousness can affect the molecular structure of water. In his research, he exposed water to different words, pictures, and songs, and then froze the water to examine it with microscopic photography. The water exposed to positive speech and thoughts resulted in beautiful crystal formations, and the water exposed to negative speech and thoughts gave ugly crystal formations. Granted, his research has been criticized for both right and wrong reasons. Personally, I keep an open mind. The rice experiment I'm about to try, it's not a very scientific approach, obviously, and it doesn't really prove anything. But it's a very interesting experiment nonetheless, and it seems to be working every single time. Since rice absorbs water when you cook it, you can basically conduct the same research Dr. Masaru did. I approached the experiment by purchasing 3 brand new glass containers. I cooked some rice and added the exact same amount of rice in each container. And every day for about 2 months, I'd spend 60 seconds per container telling them either negative or positive things. The container marked love. I'd say nice things such as, "You're awesome," and "I love you." And to the container marked hate, I'd say horrible things such as, "You don't deserve to live," and "You make me sick," and "Go and kill yourself." And the container marked ignore, I do just that. It's been about 9 weeks now, and it's finally over. And I'm happy to tell you that it's a success. Alright? And this is what happened. Alright, so the container marked with love it's in quite good shape. It's a little yellow, but I probably eat it, right? And the container marked hate it's in bad shape, all right? This is quite disgusting. there's no way I would even touch this. The container marked ignore it's in better shape than the container marked hate, but it's still quite disgusting. It's actually quite surprising because I thought that the container marked ignore would be in the worst shape of all. But for some reason, it's not. You know, I've seen people doing this experiment, and the container marked ignore would always, in most cases, be the one in the worst shape. This experiment, it just proves to me that our thoughts is not just an interior force, but also an exterior force, which means that our thoughts gives out some kind of energy, you know, vibrations when we think about something, and it goes outwards. Now, you might think that there's room for coincidence, but this works every time. If you want to try it yourself and narrow down your odds, try using 25 containers or even 50 containers. This works, and it shows that our thoughts...
Okay, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that words are energy? So when we speak good, our cells, our body starts to regulate differently. So babies, their body is made up of over 70% water. So can you imagine a child that's being ignored versus a child that is being praised, loved, hugged, telling them that they are loved? How they could be raised very differently, just like us, right? And so words are very important. Being around people, energy. Have you ever met someone who they walk in the room, you're like, that's my vibe. They're my people, right? It's energy. I've had things where I think of a client and I swear to you they show up. And I don't know if it's through meditation or being in control of my energy that they show up. So I tell you a short story. I went to a listing appointment in Bellevue, and this couple was moving to Singapore. There were 8 Bellevue agents that competed for this listing. He interviewed 8 agents and I was the final 3, and I didn't get a call back. And I was like thinking about her that day. I sat in my office and I was like, I don't know why she keeps coming up in my head. And I was like, okay, after I drop off Megan at preschool, I'm gonna call her. And this is during COVID. I get out of the car, I drop off Megan, I walk out, she's standing right in front of me at the daycare center, the preschool. And our kids have been going to the same preschool for 2 years, never bumped into each other. And I put down my mask during COVID and I was like, Ziting? And she was like, Ty? And I was like, I've been meaning to call you. I haven't heard from you. I really want the listing. What can I do to get it? And she was like, well, that other agent offered staging and I didn't want to ask you because I know you're so good at what you do. I feel bad. And I was like, let me make you a deal. If I give you above asking price, you pay me 3%. If I get you below asking price, I'll pay for staging and I'll take your listing for less. And she said, you got a deal. And I took the listing, I got over asking price, I got 3%, I moved her. And that was through just being intentional with thinking about someone. Energy travels so much faster than a phone call. It does. Have you ever thought about you want to go eat somewhere and then your husband's like, you want to go eat here? You're like, what? I was just thinking about the same thing, right? Your energy fields are in alignment. That's energy and you got to practice it. I never knew about this as a child. I was like, damn, I'm going to be meditating about everybody, that has money. So anyway, energy is a big deal. Because we're talking about energy, we're gonna say affirmations together as a community, okay? So we're gonna read these affirmations out loud because we're gonna put good energy, good vibration into our body. Okay, you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. I am confident in my abilities to achieve my goals. I am deserving of success and happiness. I am in control of my thoughts and my emotions. I am worthy of all good life has to offer. I am resilient and I can overcome any obstacles. I am grateful for all the opportunities that come my way. I am constantly growing and evolving. I am a beacon of strength, inspiration, and power. I am worthy of unlimited success and extraordinary happiness. How does that feel? Every day, you should be saying this to yourself because if you believe it, the universe will believe it as well. okay? Everything is reality until you make it, it's not a reality. So when business strategy meets spirituality, anything is possible. So everybody grab a pen and paper or your phone. I want you guys to answer these 5 questions and take a picture or you think about it. In what area of my life am I accepting less than what I truly want? What's 1 or 2 things that you're accepting but is less than what you really, really want? What personal patterns, habits, or belief do I need to transform to grow into the person, leader I envision? Maybe it's doing a video, getting on the camera, speaking your truth. Your truth is nobody else's truth. You're speaking to your audience, not everybody else's audience. If I avoid making these changes, how will it affect my life, my relationship, and my future? This is a big one for me. You know, I was a workaholic because I love working, and working so much, I ignored my husband. I ignored my kids. I get home and I'm tired. And I think because I make money, I should be treated better, but I'm checked out. And so what is it in your relationship with yourself, your significant other, your mom, your brother, your sister? What are those relationships that you want to change to be a better person? Because when you become better, everybody around you becomes better. What do they say in the airplane? Put your oxygen mask on first. Can't save anybody if you're drowning. Over the 5 years, what will it cost me emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, and financially if I continue to stay the same? Are you happy? Do you have what you want? What I did was I wanted to get closer to my husband because I was working so much. She was like, you work too much. And so I made an intention to stay connected with him. He sleeps at like 8:30 and I'm downstairs cleaning because I'm a night owl. What I started to do, and I shifted, I broke the pattern, is I would write sticky notes and I put it in his truck. And I was like, I love you. I'm always here for you. And then I stick it on his car. He'll see it when he wakes up, he goes to work, and then he texts me, you know, and he's like, you want to have date night? I'm like, oh, okay. Or like, we'll go date night, he'll open my door. I'm like, okay. So when you shift, the people next to you shift, but you got to be the one. Don't wait for somebody else to shift. You're like, oh, he's not doing it, so I ain't doing it. Fuck that. You know? Who does that, right? We all do that. But we got to shift because we want it. So until you shift, no one else is shifting. If you don't shift, then that means you don't want it bad enough, correct? What decision am I choosing to make today to move towards the life and success I desire? I went from making close to $500,000 to making a quarter of that. And I'm so much more happy. Let me tell you, I made so much money and I was miserable. I hated it. I wanted to quit because all I was doing was this. I remember my husband was like, you can't work on Sundays. If you keep working on Sundays, I'm not gonna be around. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'm a real estate agent. I have to work on Sundays. So I was like, okay, I'm committed to being a better wife. So I changed my voicemail. And so I was like, okay, thanks for calling Ty. I don't work on Sundays, but if it's an emergency, please text me or leave a voicemail. If it's not an emergency, I'll call you on Monday. And so the older kids went to go golf. Megan went to do a play date, and I get this voicemail from their coach saying that she has a referral for me. One of the neighbors wanted to sell their house in Fairwood. Like, oh shit, they're not here. I'm gonna make that call. So I make the call in my car because no one's there. And it's just like, Ty, your voicemail says you're off on Sundays. Why are you calling me on a Sunday? I broke my own rule. I didn't even value my own rule. And she did. She loved me, so she respected me. She's like, I thought you were gonna call me on Monday. It's not a big deal. So we have to respect our own rules, right? Like when you put that rule in, just respect it, because you know what? The people who love you are going to respect it as well. And I've learned that, okay? So stick to it. I like this quote right here. It says, change is the price of becoming who you were meant to be. Refusing it is the cost of staying who have you outgrown. Pretty powerful, right? This is a long one. I can share this. I don't want to bore you guys, but what am I choosing to change right now? Think about it. Stop settling, set powerful intention, do things in repetition, and most importantly, your community, the people around you. Elevate, start networking. Like here, meet people who are doing things that excite you, that makes you want to do more. Surround yourself with those people, and I promise you, you're gonna grow. The daily startup, I created this because I needed it. Every morning, I say my affirmation. I write down what I'm grateful for, and then my top priorities. You know how you have like 50 top priorities? But if you can knock down 5, I think you win for the day, right? What would make me happy today? Like going to the gym. If I can just get my ass to the gym, I've won for the day. Or cook for the kids, just one more day. That is a happy place for me. And then personal family commitments. Like my husband's like, did you change the flight? Oh shit, let me do that. You know, it's just like because you're so busy that you leave out your personal family commitment. So I put it in here so I don't F up because, you know, he's an engineer. So he's a checklist kind of guy. So I put it in here intentionally so I can save myself from my family of being committed to what I say I'm going to do and actually do it. And then daily. So I write down, you know, going to the gym, things that I need to do for the day. This really helps me. Step 2, pick your pillars. Everybody here is lead genning for business. So really pick out your 3 pillars and master it. Don't copy what someone else is doing and you think it's cool. Focus on what's good for you. What makes you happy? What makes you excited? If you like flipping and you like dirty homes, go into dirty homes. If you like luxury, go start videoing and showing and doing open house at luxury homes. Like stick to 1 or 2 or 3 things till you hit your income level. And once you do, you can add a 4th pillar. So these are some ideas, you know. There's Francis, this is Gen X. Networking. Izzy and I, we did a wholesale deal. He door knocked this guy and we sold that off market. He does bandit signs. I do a lot of client appreciation parties. That's how I get connected to all my clients. So these are some ideas to help you pick out your 3 pillars. You should not have more than 3 pillars. If you have more than 3 pillars, you just got too much if you're starting out. I'll give you guys a copy of this. This is 20 lead generation activities. There's all kinds of stuff you can do, but I wouldn't do more than 3 or 4. Some of them kind of coincide together. And then so this is an example of my 3 lead generation samples. My database consists of over 3,000 clients that I have their name, phone number, address, information over 22 years. And I do a e-newsletter. So I shoot video with Michael. That video goes into my newsletter. My newsletter gets ported out to everybody I have an email address with, and then it creates a blog. So I do that through a company called Viral Videos, and they send out a marketing plan for me. And if a client clicks on it, I'll know that they clicked on it, they watched the video, where their icon is moving, what did they clicked on, like home valuation, buying a house. I'll see all that at the end of the month. And then I make those calls. I'm like, hey, how's it going? I don't tell them like, hey, I saw you click on home valuation. That's kind of weird, right? Like, oh, you're stalking me. But I was like, hey, I was just thinking about you. Hope you're doing well. What's new with the family? So that past client, B2B and client events, I, on average, do about 8 to 12 transactions on that. And then my monthly video, I record 1 time a month and I get 10 videos that gets pushed out. And I do it not to go viral. I do it so that I'm top of mind. And then agent to agent. Now that I coach, new agents come on the team. I'm their mentor. I co-list with them. I help them out. They're brand new. They got a listing lead for $2 million. They need someone like myself to come and sit with them, show the seller how we can sell a $2 or $3 million house. You need someone that has experience to help lift you. If you do that, you're saving yourself 5 years or 10 years worth of experience. You just cut the line because you just paired up with a mentor that has sold high-end properties, right? So agent to agent, investors. I work with a lot of investors. A lot of agents bring me investors as well because they say, okay, I have an investor that wants to flip or build. Then we get them a deal and then we co-list it together. I also fix and flip. So I love buying off-market deals. I just finished my flip, which is going on the market next week. So I'm so excited about that. I love flipping. So that's kind of part of my business. These 2 pillars on average, you know, I'm cutting 250 to 300. And then the flipping side, that's just a bonus. It's just extra fun money to go to Miami. Why tracking matters? Top producers, they all track. Like I have a sheet that I'll show you. So I'm old school. I have this sheet. I carry this everywhere I go. Every time I talk to a client, I punch it into the computer. I track it. And then you'll see like I've sold the house. So when I have a sold next to it, I'll plug them into my database. I'll update their address. And then I'll call them and say, can I have your information, like your birthday, all that. And then I ask for a Google review. So I have a process for all that. But this sheet is my gold mine. I like to sit in the car and not look at my phone and like look at a piece of paper. And then I just write down where those leads come from. This is amazing. And then I plug it into my computer. So it's helped me really keep in track of all my clients. So say you want to do 250, your average price point is 650, right? Average price point, 550, 650, 750, 2.5%, you're making 16.5. That means you got to close 15 matching deals to make that. So once you get here, then you can add another pillar, like an investment, like a flipping, buying. I would never advise anybody in this room to flip, because if you can't afford to lose the money, don't do it. If you cannot afford to lose 100,000 or 200,000, don't do it. I've lost a lot of money flipping, and it's because it was extra money in our bank account that we made. I know it looks kind of fun and it looks sexy, but it's not. Contractors will screw you, even the people you know. So make sure you make your money. Your database, your network should be the foundation of your income. Flipping, investment, once you make a certain amount, then buy a rental. But until you get here, you should not be buying. Weekly tracker, I follow this every week. This is kind of my tracker. I sit there and write down my videos, my face-to-face, lead generated coffee, calls I made, follow-up, and then some notes. That's it. That's really it. So I have this priority code. If you guys want to scan it, it has the 2 worksheet that I live by. And Jana on our group, I taught this class in our office. She used these 2 sheets. Within 2 months, she capped at our office. She literally just followed these 2 sheets. It's just like, Ty, I fucking capped. I was like, let's go. That sheet really helped her. That's it. Do you guys have any questions? No? Well, I hope you guys have a few takeaways from the presentation. It was a journey to get here. Don't compare my 22 years to your day 1. It took a lot of tears, a lot of heartache to get to where I'm at, and I'm an open book. If you guys ever need me, I'm just a text away.
Hi,
Yeah.
What about your goals for commercial real estate in 2026? What are you looking forward to?
For me, commercial, if I do have that extra chunk of money that I want to put aside to a syndication, I would do that. I've done a few in the past and it's paid pretty well. It's fun kind of hiding money and not knowing that you hide it and then it comes back at like 9 or 12 or 14% in 2 to 4 years. But I know how to turn money, so I'm sticking to my flips. Yay, thank you guys.